Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Gunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janvalava Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janvalava Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jannavalava Girivaradari Gopi Jannavalava Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jannavalava Girivaradari Gopi Jannavalava Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashotara Shata Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashotara Shata Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Giradhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Mathura Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, यमुना माई की जय, गंगा माई की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय. All glories to the Samo devotees, all glories to the Samo devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Namo Vishnu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, today we'll be looking at Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 19, entitled The Appearance of Shukadev Goswami. Text number 34. Sanidhyat te mahayogin patakani mahanti api sadyaha nashyanti vai pungsam vishnoho iva sura itaraha sanidhyate mahayogin patakani mahantyapi sadhyo nashyanti vai pumsam vishnoriva suretaraha sanidhyate mahayogin patakani mahantyapi sadhyo nashyanti vai pumsam vishnoriva suretaraha sanidhyate mahayogin patakani mahantyapi sadhyo nashyanti vai pumsam vishnuriva suretaraha
Sanidhyate mahayogin patakani
mahantyapi
sadhyo nashyanti vai pumsam vishnoriva suretaraha
Sanidhyate mahayogin patakani mahantyapi sadhyo nashyanti vai pumsam vishnoriva suretaraha
Sanidhyate mahayogin patakani mahantyapi sadhyo nashyanti vai pumsam vishnor iva suretaraha.
Sanidhyate mahayogin patakani mahantyapi sadhyo nashyanti vai pumsam vishnureva suretaraha.
Sanidhyate Mahayogin
Sanidhyate Mahayogin
Patakani Mahantyapi
Patakani Mahantyapi
Sadyo Nashyanti Vaipumsam
Sadyo Nashyanti Vaipumsam
Vishnuriva Suretaraha
Vishnuriva Suretaraha
Sanidhyate Mahayogin
Sanidhyate Mahayogin
Patakani Mahatyapi
Patakani Mahantyapi
Sadyo Nashyanti Vaipumsam
Sadyo Nashyanti Vaipumsam
Vishnuriva Suretaraha
Vishnuriva Suretaraha
Sandhyate Mahayogin
Sanidhyate Mahayogin
Patakani Mahantyapi
Patakani Mahantyapi
Sadyo Nashyanti Vaipumsam
Sadyo Nashyanti Vaipumsam
Vishnur Eva Suretaraha
Vishnuriva Suretaraha
Sanidhyate Mahayogin
Sanidhyate Mahayogin
Patakani Mahantyapi
Patakani Mahantyapi
Sadhyonashyanti Vaipumsam
Sadyo Nashyanti Vaipumsam
Vishnuriva Suretara
Vishnuriva Suretaraha. Any devotees online? Sanidhyat, on account of the presence. Te, pure. Mahayogin, O great mystic. Patakani, sins. Mahanti, invulnerable. Api, in spite of. Sadhyaha, immediately. Nashyanti, vanquished. By, certainly. Pungsam, of a person. Vishnu, like the presence of the personality of Godhead. Iva, like. Sura itaraha, of other than the demigods. Translation. Just as the atheist cannot remain in the presence of the personality of Godhead, so also the invulnerable sins of a man are immediately vanquished in your presence, O saint, O great mystic. Purport. There are two classes of human beings, namely the atheist and the devotee of the Lord. The devotee of the Lord, because of manifesting godly qualities, is called a demigod, whereas the atheist is called a demon. The demon cannot stand the presence of Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. The demons are always busy in trying to vanquish the personality of Godhead, but factually, as soon as the personality of Godhead appears, by either his transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, paraphernalia, or variegatedness, the demon is at once vanquished. It is said that a ghost cannot remain as soon as the holy name of the Lord is chanted. The great saints and devotees of the Lord are in the list of his paraphernalia. And thus, as soon as the saintly devotee is present, the ghostly sins are at once vanquished. That is the verdict of all Vedic literatures. One is recommended, therefore, to associate only with saintly devotees, so that worldly demons and ghosts cannot exert their sinister influence. Sanidhyate Mahayogin Patakani Mahantyapi Sadyo Nashyanti Vaipumsam Vishnuriva Suretaraha. Translation. Just as the atheist cannot remain in the presence of the personality of Godhead, so also the invulnerable sins of a man are immediately vanquished in your presence, O saint, O great mystic. So I thought of a few things. So I thought of the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is understanding from Krishna that there are two classes. There's the Sudas and the Asuras. So this prefix A is a negation. Sura means these demigods. And Asura is the opposite. So they're unlike those demigods. There's a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam which describes that when one performs devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, within that person, all the qualities of the demigods are actually manifest. And one can understand it's interchangeable. Sometimes it's translated as all the saintly persons are manifest. All the qualities of the saintly persons are manifested in that devotee. And also all the qualities of the demigods. So we can understand that this is the point that Prabhupada is touching on here, is that these persons which have the divine qualities, godly qualities, they're called demigods. Even though they may be of the earthly body, still, or whatever type of body, if they're a devotee of the Lord, then automatically they achieve that status as a demigod. But, yes, Maharaj?
The Lord is like blazing fire, and if one puts a metal rod in the fire, it becomes so hot it becomes red hot, and then it acts just like fire. So the same thing, if one gets close to Krishna, stays in the fire of Krishna consciousness, and he becomes red hot with Krishna consciousness, he can act like Krishna. As Krishna removes the demons easily, it's like the sun. Where there is sun, there's no darkness. Similarly, where there's Krishna, there's no ignorance, no darkness. And similarly, where a devotee of the Lord, powerful devotee, there can be no more sins. Anyone who comes in contact with him is free from sins. Pataka. That word is used in the Bhagavad Gita, pataka, that we are committing so many sins. Arjuna was thinking, how can we engage in this ghastly warfare, so many sins? Yeah. So it may seem like something will have sinful reactions. That if one doesn't do such and such a thing, or his material responsibilities, it may seem like something inauspicious will happen. But if he's fully engaged in devotional service, there's nothing inauspicious that can come. He can't even come close. So this is the point, that stay in the association of devotees who are in the association of Krishna through his name, through his form, his pastimes, entourage, and then there's no question of sinful activities, no question of reactions. Arjuna finally understood that. He thought that if I fight this battle, there's going to be so many reactions because so many people are going to be killed. And I'll be responsible. But if one's acting only under the direction of Krishna or his authorized representative, then there's no fear of any danger Just like Krishna says in the 18th chapter, this surrender to me, I'll protect you from all sinful reactions, do not fear.
Thank you so much. Yes, I really like this example of the red hot rod that I used to go to some types of like Renaissance events and things like that, and like I was always very fascinated with that scene. You know, somebody doing some crafting, working with the materials. You know. And the fire, you see how powerful that fire is. If you try to hit the rod without heating it, you basically like break your arm or something crazy, you know? Just, you know. But as soon as he heats it sufficiently, he's patient, the blacksmith. He just puts it in there, then he goes about some other work. Then it heats up, and then it's the right time to work with the metal after. And so we can see that similarly, maybe, you know, the saints, the devotees, Krishna, even we may have a spiritual will for ourselves, for our actions. But and we may be trying to move ourselves in, you know, that direction, but it may not work. So this is kind of another point. But the point which is being made is that we have to become red hot like that fire. So we do that by associating with these persons who themselves have become red hot like Krishna by constant devotional service. So this Prabhupada points out here, just as Maharaj did, that there are many ways for the Lord to appear, and the saints are interested in contacting the Lord in all those forms. His name, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, his form, his attributes, qualities, and the devotee is always kind of carrying these different weapons, you could say, against Maya to protect himself. And the devotee has to be vigilant always that at least one of these, he's armed with one of these associations with the Lord. Because as soon as we're not associating with one of the Lord's forms, I mean, one of these manifestations of the Lord's mercy, then we immediately take some association from our mind or some Maya. So our mind is actually demoniac. And we can understand that demoniac means that we have the propensity to try to enjoy separately from Krishna. The propensity to enjoy is not criminal. That's within God. That's pure within the Lord and his pure representatives like these saints. But the heating process of Krishna consciousness, staying in the fire of Krishna consciousness, we will trade in. We'll transfer accounts. All my desires, all my will is now being directed towards enjoying sense gratification without Krishna's approval or participation. And when I become sufficiently purified, then my real desire will emerge. And the saints, they can do that. I'm just remembering one really cool prayer. I think it is As far as I understand, it's a purport to a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita about the 6 Goswamis. And Prabhupada is mentioning that I'm not sure where this prayer is from exactly, but that we pray to the 6 Goswamis. They can remove all the impediments and all the persons who are demoniac impediments to the spreading of God consciousness, just as Prabhupada is describing these demons. We want to block it. And so these 6 Goswamis, they can remove such persons from our path, or those obstacles, those persons who make obstacles in the path of spreading this movement. And by taking shelter of their lotus feet, our real desire can be fulfilled. So our real desire is to give pleasure to Krishna. So the saints are very powerful. And Prabhupada mentions here at the end that the demons run in fear from Krishna. So there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita where Arjuna says that as soon as the demons hear your name, they run away, and it's rightly so that they do that. And at the same time, this word vanquished, Krishna uses this word and tells Arjuna that you should declare boldly that my devotee, he never is vanquished, he never perishes. And this point was mentioned by Maharaj, that there's no reason to fear as long as we're under the direction. And so this goes back to the points that have been kind of coming up in the classes, that what is our perfection? Our perfection is to follow. Das anudas, anudas, million times removed. Our perfection is to follow the orders of our spiritual master, to follow the orders of our spiritual authorities. And that obedience, follow means obey. That's what it means. And we've come to Krishna consciousness to learn that quality, actually, because our mind, our wicked mind, has led us away from obedience to Krishna's will. Therefore, we have to come to this material world.
Non-devotees will criticize the devotees and say, you're just following. You have no character, no stature of your own. Just following along, docile duck, little duckling following mother duck. But they think they're brave souls, and they can chart out their own course, and they don't need anybody to tell them what to do, what to think, etc. And they are just like proud moths flying into the fire. Pup, 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 pup. They're very proud, and they can even form a big group. All right, let's all go now. They go vroom, right into the fire. And sometimes you see motorcyclists, a group of them, a big group of something. So they get some strength in numbers. Now we're going to do something extraordinary. And they extraordinarily go right into the fire. And they're eliminated. But when you see persons like Arjuna, what made Arjuna so great? Arjuna was great because he followed the footsteps of his superiors, of his predecessors. Why is Krishna always saying, O son of Bharata, O descendant of Kuru? Because remember your great heritage. You're supposed to be like them. But we don't mind being criticized like that, which they will do, the atheists. They will criticize the devotees. But that's what they do because their business is try to vanquish the Lord. So they're always trying to either uproot the Lord. They think if we get rid of the Lord, then that takes care of the devotees. Or if we kill the devotees, then that'll uproot the Lord. One way or another, they're always trying to declare war on God and his associates. But we shouldn't be put off by that. We should take courage and follow the great footsteps of. Prabhupada also used to say that because sometimes the criticism was leveled in India even, that if you become a devotee, then you become effeminate and you lose your manliness. And Prabhupada said, what about Hanuman? What about Arjuna? They fought on behalf of the Lord and they showed their valor. So we follow in the footsteps of Hanuman. And Arjuna had Hanuman on his chariot. His flag was marked with Hanuman. So there was no, when Prabhupada discusses the outcome of the Battle of Kurukshetra, he points out that these are signs of victory. He's taken Hanuman as his leader, his protector. And Hanuman, he took Lord Ramachandra as his leader. So it always goes back to that. When you take shelter of Krishna, he becomes powerful. And when you take shelter of that powerful person, he becomes powerful. And even a nation. If this nation, for example, becomes powerful by taking shelter of Krishna, then it can save the whole world. And if it takes shelter of atheistic views, then it can ruin the whole world.
So in one sense, we have a great task to execute, but we know that it's not by our strength. We just sufficiently take shelter of the Lord and his devotees, and they will empower. Because their will is that this Sankirtan movement be spread. And our perfection is just to align ourselves with that will, and then we can have a great adventure. And, more or less, we have a choice. We want to be on the side which is defeated eventually, or the side which will become victorious. Krishna cannot be defeated. So the way that we do this is through this mass book distribution. Through the mass book distribution and public chanting of the holy names. And distribution of prasadam. We have our temples, which are army bases at which we send out our men to drop bombs on, this place, which is filled with the demoniac mentality. And we can use many analogies. That was one. That was a particular mood. We can use the analogy that this place is like a hospital, and we are the persons who have willingly signed up to be treated by the professional doctors. So that gives a different angle. We are receiving proper treatment. We ourselves are sick too. that gives a different angle. But when we are receiving treatment, then we are strong enough to go and help others make that choice too. Come, take some good treatment as well. This place is like an oasis in the desert of demoniac mentality, where you can finally get a taste of service attitude towards the Lord. And it's a relief, because these people, these saints, they're not envious, because they see that the Lord is everywhere. They see that the Lord is within everyone's heart. So, as Maharaj was mentioning, it's a very it's sticking in my mind quite a bit that, you know, we don't mind actually that we'll be criticized by these people, because we know that's what their business is. That's what they do. They're always trying to vanquish the Lord one way or another. Somehow they'll declare war against Krishna. And that means that it'll come on us. But we don't have to mind. We know that's just the coverings of Maya. And as soon as we administer the proper medicine to them, specifically the chanting of the holy name and Krishna Prasadam and the glories of the Lord enumerated in Srila Prabhupada's books, then very easily they can be, taken onto the side of victory. So, just some things. Okay, devotees, maybe one person can say a short comment before 8:30.
Hare Krishna, I have a question, not a comment.
Okay.
Yes, I have a couple, so I'll pick one. How does one actually develop a wicked mind / create or demoniac propensities when the jiva soul or marginal energy was originally with Krishna in Goloka or Vaikuntha?
We always have free will. So we just decided to do something which was against his will. We always have the free will. It's always a choice. It's just when we have a higher taste, in general, we don't make that choice. But we always have the choice.
But from my understanding, if you are in Goloka, the higher taste is implicit. So how could you ask or develop willingly a lower taste just because you have free will? And I apologize for asking these questions. I know it's not the nicest thing, nor do I really need like a perfect answer, but I am questioning as to why we would essentially leave that association that is pure for demoniac, envious desires. How could we even develop this envy? When does one actually become a demon?
Prabhupada answered this question.
He gave the example that why does someone leave the temple? He's staying in the temple in association with Krishna and the devotees, and everything's so nice. There's no reasonable, intelligent factor that should warrant doing that, but he does it anyway. So that's the idea. That another point is that if someone's shot with an arrow and he wants to try to figure out how the arrow came, who shot it, what the velocity was, and this and that, that's all right. But right now he has to take care of the arrow wound and save himself. Later he can find out these things.
Thank you so much.